Hi, my name is Estefania. I am a digital nomad currently working from Spain. I'm also a senior UX designer as well as a mentor and a content creator. And in this video, I was hoping to share the story of how I became a digital nomad, the good, the bad, and the ugly, as well as some practical tips for you to use if you're thinking to taking the leap and becoming a digital nomad yourself. So let's get started. So full disclaimer before we actually get into the tips is to become a digital nomad to the point that, of course, I can take my work anywhere I want in the world. It took me a while, okay? For myself, it actually took me a little bit over a decade, all right, from the moment I graduated university to the point that I am here today. So it was a lot of work, effort, and of course, time. Does that mean that it's gonna take a decade for you to become a digital nomad? I don't think so at all. I think the world right now, post-COVID, is a much more remote work-friendly place. And knowing what I know now, I think you can definitely become a remote worker slash digital nomad in a much shorter time. But yeah, I just want to say, regardless of the path that you take, every good thing takes a little bit of effort and time. So with that in mind, let's start. So the first step in becoming a digital nomad is of course to get a profession or business that is remote friendly and also that is relevant in the current market, but that is also valuable for future market trends. So when I was in university, I swear I thought I was going to be an artist. I love drawing, I love painting, and I went to art school for 2 years. And in my university, after 2 years, I was like, I think it's gonna be very hard for me to make it as an artist. I don't know if I have the talent. Well, let's not be too modest here, but you know what I mean. I was like, I need something that, again, combines my passions and my skills, but it's a bit more marketable in the current industry, right, in the marketplace. So I thought, okay, graphic design could be a good, in between creative, business, tech, because I already see that trend. Long story short, I kind of jumped in that trend and studied communication design instead with a lot of interaction. I did a internship, right, working for a non-for-profit, creating and designing websites for local small businesses. So that allowed me to, again, engage in a profession that was not only remote friendly. At that time, I didn't know I was going to be a digital nomad, but I did know that I wanted something that was a bit more flexible as well. So I thought this web design was pretty good. So what does this mean for you? Of course, if you're planning to be a digital nomad, it's kind of like a basic principle to get a business idea and a profession that it's remote friendly, okay? But at the same time, that is, again, that you see kind of like a value now and in the future. I have some friends come up to me and say, a couple actually, I think I'm going to study graphic design right now because it's very, flexible. Everybody needs graphic design. And I'm like, yes, but graphic design was a trend, in my opinion, my personal opinion in the industry. It's a trend that it's a bit dying off in the sense that we are moving, even though print is still relevant, we're moving away from traditional print methods, even from traditional digital methods like website, right? And more into like other technologies. We have AI, Gen AI specifically, being a boom right now. We have virtual reality, we have augmented reality, we have all the VR. Well, I guess it's the same, right? So it's kind of morphing how we use design. And I'm talking about design because that's my profession. So what I'm trying to say is that when you're choosing a business idea, try to look for something that it's good now, but also you see a projection in the future. So also you can ask yourself, just like I did, what are your strengths? What are you good at? And I feel like even if your current work is not remote friendly per se, say you're a mechanic or you're a chef, right? Or a beauty makeup artist, there's a makeup artist. You can always make it remote by either creating content or by teaching others, maybe like an online course, which is kind of like content creation. So that's the first step, right? Getting a remote friendly profession or business. The next step is to build a community and leverage your network. And I think this is so key. And many of us are going to be like, ugh, I don't know, like I hate people, or the word network kind of like creeps me out. But think about it as building a community, because there's nothing more powerful than a connection. Okay, so I can personally say that what helped me kick my remote work journey or my digital journey was definitely the people I knew that referred me to a job or they became clients. So let me give you a specific example. After I ended up my internship, okay, I was, oh my goodness, I need to pay rent. I don't have a job lined up. What am I going to do? So I got a part-time job at Starbucks, which actually I quite enjoy. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to become a freelancer. So I did the old school method. I printed my business cards. I went to business events. I don't know if you're familiar with the website Meetup. It's a website to that people, excuse me, organize and create events. So yeah, I went to a bunch of business events and I networked. And from those meetings, two very important connections came up. One connection, it was a lady that she hired me to create a website for her photographer friend. Amazing photography, by the way. So that was amazing. I was a recent graduated and I already had my first client, which helped me build my portfolio and get a referral. And I also got to make a friend, and this friend actually volunteered. He didn't even work there. He volunteered at this organization, and he let me know. He was like, hey, Stefania, this organization that I occasionally volunteer at is looking for a web designer. Why don't you try applying and you can use me as a referral? And lo and behold, I applied, I got the interview, and I got the job. Okay, so it's super important that you build a community and you talk to people. Like, say you want to become a digital nomad yourself and you already kind of know how you want to do it. Tell your friends about it. Go into meetup events, or even if you're a content creator, while you are at your day job, whether that is a Starbucks or something else, start building that community. So when you are ready to take the leap into becoming full-time digital nomad, that community is going to be a huge resource for you to get, connection, potential clients, referrals, and so on. So the third step in my journey, my 10-year journey, if you will, was to leverage skills and make connections at what's my current workplace. So basically, after I got this job, I was 5 years working for that organization as a web designer. And during those 5 years, I was very blessed to work in a marketing team with really talented and awesome people. So I was able to absorb like a sponge different skills. I learned how to do marketing, how to create a sales proposition, etc. You get my drift. So this was critical because it allowed me again to increase my resume, like my toolbox, that eventually will become a huge tool set of skills that I would take with me in my digital nomad journey. So what I advise you to do, if you're still in progress, like of taking that leap, use the current workplace that you're at to basically get paid to learn. Okay, whether that is selling or negotiation skills or customer service or accounting, whatever that you do, use it to leverage, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Use it to leverage your workplace or leverage your workplace to learn new skills. The other thing a workplace can do for you, which it actually is how I was able to move to Spain, is build connections and create a good reputation for yourself. Because in multiple occasions, when I left a workplace, after I left this 5-year non-for-profit job, actually I had my previous boss and an ex-colleague reach out to me, both in separate occasions, to work on 2 different projects, and they pay me as a freelancer. In fact, part of the reason that I'm here in Spain, I'm able to take my work anywhere, is because one of my clients was my most recent employer. I actually say, hey, I'm going to the six-figure income one, really good, awesome job. I say, listen, I really want to go to Spain. I want to do this travel, do my life. And my boss was like, hey, I think we work well together. Why don't you go in a contractor basis instead? Of course, because project, hours vary, projects come and go. My income is much more variable than before, but still being able to create a reputation at my previous workplace and create those connections that eventually serve me to, have clients and diversify my income, it was crucial. So I really recommend you do that. Use your current workplace to build community, create yourself a good reputation, learn new skills, and leverage that network for your future journey as a digital nomad. Okay, so the next step in the journey of becoming a digital nomad for myself was to diversifying income, mitigating risk, and preparing to actually take the leap to become a digital nomad. So if you're a digital nomad, of course, you're going to be traveling around the world. That involves certain level of risks, right? For example, if you're not in your home country and say you lose your job, even though it's a remote work, then it might be a bit trickier to find another remote work in a short time, as opposed, say, if you're in your country and you can work as, I don't know, in Starbucks, for example, while you get another job. So when I was taking the leap of becoming a digital nomad, I knew that I wanted to diversify my income in order to mitigate risk as much as possible. So let's talk about diversifying income. Again, this is something that, that sounds really easy. Let me just diversify my income. No, honestly, I recognize that it takes certain level of effort, time, and a bit of luck, to be honest. So in my case, the way I did it is, again, at this point in my life, I already have a few years of experience in my profession. So I felt comfortable teaching others about what I do. I was able to diversify my income by, one, working in a contract basis for my previous employer, or my current employer, well, my client, if you will. Two, by also becoming a mentor and getting paid by the hour to coach aspiring UX designers. I also applied to another platform where I also coach students how to be, remote workers, also with how to get a job in the design industry. I'll leave you the link below if you're interested in a coaching session. And I also recently started content creator, as well as creation, as well as writing a book to teach people how to become a digital nomad and work from anywhere. In fact, one of my favorite concepts, I think it comes from the investment world. I'm not an investor. Well, I would like to believe I am, but like a professional investor. So don't kill me if this is not the right way to say it, but it's the concept of asymmetric risk. So you're taking big risks, if you will, but they're not as risky because you're mitigating it or diversifying it with big rewards. So again, think about it as, okay, moving to another country, go traveling the world is a big risk in many ways. But at the same time, you mitigate that risk by diversifying your income, by creating an emergency fund, super important, by the way, building that emergency fund 3-6 months. And by leveraging your network, just to kind of again, hope for the best, but also be prepared if one of your income streams suddenly goes down. My advice is, once you're ready to start on your journey as a digital nomad, you have your remote work, you have or business. Ideally, you have a bit of diversifying income, and of course, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can build this as you go as well. You have a bit of emergency savings saved, and you have done extensive research about the places that you're planning to travel, including culture, but also, things like visas and is it legal to work from there, how long can you stay there depending on your passport, things like that. So I highly recommend getting some legal advice if you can. And yeah, that's pretty much how I became a digital nomad myself. It was a lot of work, okay, but for me at least it was absolutely worth it. It still is. I don't mind having a meeting now and then, not every day, at 9:30 p.m. at night, because I know I can wake up the next day at whatever time I want. I can do whatever I want, travel whenever I want. So that for me is an absolutely fair trade-off, if you will. So yeah, so thank you again if you're still here for listening to this video. And if you're looking for more information as to how to become a digital nomad or a remote worker, feel free. I also wrote a book, so it's called How to Work from Anywhere. You can check that out. It's in Amazon. You can also schedule a 30-minute coaching session with me if you want. And if not, thank you again for being here. Feel free to give it a like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.